What's up? Matt here from Urchfab. Today I'm doing a vid on some bead rolling basics and different stuff you can use this for, and also some tips on how to lay your lines out on your panels so that it looks like it was meant to be there. So yeah. Right, this is a real budget bead roller. I think it was like 200 quid with all the, well, with a few different dies. I'll show you the difference between the two in a minute, but I bought it just because I had a couple of jobs I had to do with it. Did the couple jobs, and then I was planning to buy a power bead roller because it can be a bit tricky working on your own. If you've got a panel that's of any decent size, you can still do it. I do it all the time. But I was going to buy a power one, so I went and had a look at like quite a well-known branded power one, and the quality of it was pretty similar to this. It was pretty obviously like made in China, and I didn't really think it warranted the extra £1,000 that they were charging for the motor on it and stuff. So I've had this thing for like 3 years maybe, and it's still, you know, it's not great, but for the money it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it was 200 quid. I think even I bought it with like the stand and everything. I think if you buy it without the stand it's even cheaper again, but I'll put a link in the description if you want to buy this particular one. Yes, 3 years old, still working. So basically got stepped rollers. That's all done with the step rollers, so it gives you the look of like a sort of factory pressed panel. And then these ones actually these ones will actually like make a bead sort of looking thing. You can see how that does that, it's pretty obvious. That is done with the bead type roller on it, so just whatever you prefer the look of, really. One of the only real problems with this is there's a bit of like flex in the end of it because it's so long, but other than that it's alright. I could probably like box it in at the back and stiffen it all up, but I don't really be bothered. Yeah, like I said, I'm keeping an eye out for something old school, made in the day when things were built to last. Right, so I'm going to show you how I mark stuff out on the panels, just to get like, yeah, if I've got a certain shape of panel, I'll pretty much always do this method to get like the lines that I want to use. So got a bit of scrap. You know, we'll mark this up now. I'll just show you. Right, so I've got this odd shaped bit of scrap. If I wanted to, I'm using the flat wheels, which will like give you like a raised pressing or whatever, like pressed down. It give you the effect of like a pressed panel if you do a whole line all the way around. So if I was quickly just wanting to do something on that that's going to look good, I would work out how far I wanted to come in from the edge, depending on whether I had to put any folds in it or anything. So I'm going to go 30 mil. and then I would just trace. Trace around it like that. Get something with a rounded edge of the, like, whatever sort of curve you want. And then just right, so I've got my pattern traced out. Pretty self-explanatory on this. You just, obviously depending on whether you want this to look like it's a pressing pressed in or raised up, there's going to be whichever way you do it that way, or you can swap the rollers around. So by doing it this way, I'm going to be pressing this down because the outer lip is obviously lower than the top lip. So I'm setting it on my line, and then I just do this up until it just seats lightly, and then I know that basically 1 1/4 turns is going to give me the right amount of tension to give me the sort of pressing that I want. So I always try and go around it in just one go. I know some people do it in a few goes, but I always find get decent results just doing it once. And it's just a case of slowly winding it around. You've got to keep your head at this end so you can see like straight down the line you're trying to do, and then sort of lean your arm out over to turn the handle, which is the tricky bit. It's a lot easier if you've got 2 sets of hands. That's it. Beaded. So that's it. Like the cheapest chips bead roller, and you can get like, you know, it's no different to what you would get out of something that costs you thousands. But obviously, yeah, the main difference being a motorized one, you're going to be a lot more accurate with your lines, because you've got 2 hands on the part, and you're not using some brain power winding while you're maneuvering it around. So you would be able to do a lot more intricate stuff with a power one, which, like I say, I am looking for. But so the advantages of putting pressings in panels obviously is the strength that it gives the panel, stops it flexing, twisting. Probably one of the best things about doing it is if you're going to weld all along the bottom edge of something, like if you just made a gearbox tunnel or whatever it is, and it's going to require a lot of welding on it. If you have a flat sheet and you're impatient like I am, when it comes to welding it, you weld it in way too fast and then you warp everything, and and then it takes you hours to straighten it all back out. If you've got one of these, if you put a stepped edge like that, like 20 mil away from the join, if that was a gearbox tunnel coming up over here, and you roll that little pressing just reduces the risk of this panel warping by like so much that it's worth having one of these just for that. It's probably the the thing that I think that it's best for, really. Well, I mean, obviously being able to do this makes you look like a bit of a professional, even if you're not, I think. It just looks good, like rather than a flat panel, if it's got that in it, it just, if you've done that, and I think it just looks cool. All right, there's our little finished panel. Right, that's my video on basic bead rolling. There's a load of other different attachments you can get for the end of these for doing all sorts of different stuff. There's so much you can do with them. This really is just the absolute basics, but even just being able to do that, I think just will make whatever project you're working on just look that much better than just having a flat sheet. So yeah, go get yourself one and roll some beads. That's it for this vid. Cheers for watching. Laters.